Hey everybody, welcome back to Waverly Zoo. So we left off last time just here. I'd done some decorating around the front, got the sign in place, and I'd finished off this small backstage building. Still need to do a few details in here, and I hadn't quite decided what I wanted to do over here. However, I think I have now, but what I'm going to do first, actually, I want to work this way, and I think it makes sense in here, as obviously this is the main road out the front, to have some sort of a delivery area in here, maybe with a large a warehouse building of some sort, all connected into this, I think. So that's my plan here, and I think what I'm going to do over here is a car park instead of a building. I think I will have a car park in here. I may end up having a larger car park over this side of the road. I'm not too sure about that yet. But for now, I think that's my plan for that area. So without further ado, I will crack on with a bit of work in this area here, I think. So let's see what I come up with. Right, so let's have a look at where I'm at now. So you can see I've brought the road, I've made the road longer along here, and obviously I've brought it in here, and I've built a small, relatively small warehouse really, but I think it's the sort of size that it needs to be. So I put these lovely big doors on the front. These things are perfect for this. You know, they just look right, because you'd want to have it fairly large door so trucks could back in and drop stuff off. I'm not doing interiors, so it does just look like that. Doesn't need any more than that. Nice simple here, just, you know, minor details, a light and a switch and a door, and in here as well, again, light, switch and a door. Probably going to have, I think, some piles of soil and sand in here for a bit of landscaping probably. And the plan for this small area here, the reason I've shaped this like I have, I want to have a small building as what's it called? You know, like a guard post. So you have a barrier along the road here, and a small house thing here, a guard house, that's probably the word I'm looking for, where, you know, the guard would be in there, and you'd pull up at his window, and he would push a button and open the barrier for you if you were allowed in or not. So that's my plan just there. Just on a few small details in here, just some of these little loading carts. I wish we had better versions of things like this. That doesn't look very realistic for as a modern zoo, but it's all we've got really. I love these pallets. You're going to see piles of these all over the place because they just look fantastic. And it is the sort of thing that you would find all over the place in this kind of an environment, because stuff would be delivered on pallets. You know, with their food, and certainly here with the gift shop, you'd get all their boxes and things delivered on pallets. And I've just stuck a Jeep in here as well. Obviously just made the ground a bit dirty where you can see the Jeep drives and people walk to the door and whatever. Actually, I could do with just a little bit of mud there to that door, just to be realistic. So yeah, and obviously it's connected over here to this. So that's the next step. I think I'll probably work on this little building in here next. But yeah, let's see how that goes. Right, made some nice progression here. You can see I've extended this small stone wall along to here and along the front there, and obviously I do want all this enclosed, so I've gone with this log wall. I think it looks nice and it does its job. It blocks the view, you know, you don't want people walking along here seeing all the backstage area, so from down here it just hides it all nicely. I put these little barriers in, so I had to create these side pieces here. They're not brilliant, but yeah, I kind of like them. They look a bit quirky, don't they? You know, a couple of barriers on each side and a stop sign. Again, The signs aren't great. They really wouldn't be a wooden sign on a metal post like that. But the signs that they've given us in the game aren't very good, I'll be honest. They haven't given us a lot of variety, particularly for small signs like this, which is a bit frustrating. We again in Planet Coaster we had a really good range of signs of different sizes and materials, and these ones just, yeah, they're okay, but they're not great. So this is the main, this is my main thing that I've just been working on. I wanted this to be fairly simple, really. It wouldn't be a fancy building in any way. So it's a pretty simple brick building, and you can see the glass here. I'm actually not happy. I think I'm going to change this, because what I want, I need a hole in the glass here. I'm sure everyone out there has seen windows like this where you have a man sitting in there and you have a hole here that you can talk through and pass notes through or whatever. I've had to take a bit of liberty with this building, in as much as I wanted some windows, but I also wanted to decorate the inside. So I have put a window on the end, a window on the side, and a window on this end. But if we go inside, they're not there. You can't see them, because I wanted to do this, as you can see. So I wanted this to be like a den, you know, like this guy has made this his crib. So he's got his shelving back here. I like to think this is maybe sort of a lost property area, stuff that he's found or something. I don't know, you know, some parcels, a Ming vase. Maybe he's rich and he's got a nice Ming vase. Some, I don't know what, he's bringing some cocktail making equipment or something in, and he's got a drum for when he gets bored, so he can do a bit of drumming. A couple of nice rugs on the floor. He's pretty healthy eater. He's got some fruit lying around. He's even got a hammock, so he can a hammock, excuse me, so he can have a lie down when he's not busy. Nice sort of rug on the wall as well. Obviously a bit of realism. He's got his big monitor on the wall. I think this would be like maybe a security camera thing, you know, like with one of those split screens where you get 6 images up on one screen. I think that would probably make sense in here. A couple of smaller monitors, a switch, you know, some electricity things here, and a clipboard for sort of recording what deliveries have come in and out. Oh, and then I did put a ventilation system on here, and then on the outside I've put a small vent. And there's something coming out of this vent, so I think this guy is smoking some wacky backy inside here. But yeah, I won't question it. He's a hard worker. He needs a bit of relief. Put one of these hoses on the outside. I thought that made sense, because an area like this, you know, to keep it clean, that's what you'd use, a big hose. And obviously it's going to have trucks and things all over it, so they're going to bring lots of dirt in. So I think that kind of makes sense. And a very simple front sort of porch as well. Obviously more detailing to do around here. I'll try and work out what sort of edging I'm doing here as well. But yeah, so that's my little building. I'm pretty happy with that, actually. It's worked out quite nice. It's kind of simple but detailed enough that I feel like it's worthy of its place in the park. Okay, let's move on, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. We shall wait and see. Right then, lots of foliage done. So I wanted this front area to look smart, even though it's a backstage area. Because it's the approach to the main entrance, they would try and make this look as nice as possible. So that's why I've gone for these I've forgotten the name. The cypress trees, that's it. So because they are, you know, notoriously smart trees, they grow very uniformly shaped. So they are often used in lines like this, where you want to try and make an area look nice and formal and tidy. And then just a few shrubs here and there, you know, hydrangeas and I can't remember. Yes, diamond leaf willow. I think they look quite nice. I like the shape of these and the textures. They're really nice, actually. Then some more trees over here. Again, I'm kind of working on the theory that these are trees that have been here a while and that everything has been built around them. Particularly, you know, the larger ones like this. You know, a tree like this is probably sort of 40 years old. So probably not planted in the time of the zoo, it's probably been there all along. So everything is just worked around it. Put my little piles in here. I think these look quite good actually. So that's just landscaping, so you just raise the land up and make it look like piles. So you've got a pile of soil and a pile of sand in there. Also just put this vent along the side of the concrete here on the ground. They would have that because of obviously rainwater running into it. Otherwise this ground here would get boggy. So yeah, I did that little touch of realism. And obviously a car, because this guy's got to get to work somehow, hasn't he? Some continued fencing, this wooden fencing along here, and I've got put a little pallet store around here. I love these pallets, and they would have a little store like this, and then maybe, I don't know, once a month they'd have someone come along and collect them all and take them away. So I thought that made sense in that corner there. To be honest, I had a gap to fill, and that was the first thing that came to mind, so that's what I went with. So this area is basically done. There's not going to be any white lines and things like a traditional car park here, because really this is just a big turning area and an unloading area for lorries. They wouldn't really be parking there, so I haven't worried about that. So out on the street I've done some street lamps and obviously some road markings here, and I've started a car park. Now, I think this is going to be way too small for the main car park. So there's probably going to be a second car park over here. So I think this car park may well end up just being for maybe disabled parking and coaches. Yeah, possibly. Not sure. I'll see it as I get into it. Also, obviously just copied the signs over here. They wouldn't only have the one sign. They would have it so if you're approaching from this way on the road, you would also see the signs along here. That makes sense to me. Just thinking I could probably do with maybe a sign. No, I'm not too sure. I don't know. We'll see. Sorry, I'm just brainstorming while I'm talking to you. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I'll keep going with this car park for now and see what happens. Okay, I made some good progress here, and I did decide in the end to do what I said. So you've got your disabled parking here. Not overly happy with these signs. They're meant to be wheelchair signs. I've seen other people do it like this with the question mark and then a small bit here. They did it a lot better than me, let's just say that. So I'm thinking I may not use these. I may get rid of them, actually just have writing on the floor. Certainly in England it tends to just say disabled parking on the floor, or possibly even a sign at the end of each bay just saying disabled parking. So yes, I may well do that at some point. So I put these flower beds around it. Yeah, I kind of like them. I think they're okay. I didn't want to do too much out the front in the way of flowers because of maintenance. You've got to think realistically. But to be honest, these are all perennial plants. They're the sort of things they only need looking after once a year. You cut them down and then they start regrowing in the spring. So you may have to do a bit of weeding, sorry. But other than that, they don't need a lot of looking after. So I think that's quite reasonable to have flower beds out here. Put a large bay in the middle here. I think I'm going to change this actually. I'm not happy with these pink trees. As much as I really like them, I don't think they work in the middle of the car park here, particularly as the plants that I've put underneath look quite autumnal. Particularly I sunk these trees in, these bush willow trees, because I wanted that sort of orange look. I thought the orange and the pink would go well together, but actually I think it makes the pink not work. So I'm probably going to change these and put some more traditional green trees in here. Then you've got these sort of barriers here and these nice rusty posts, which I kind of like, but actually these wouldn't be rusty posts. They would be nice shiny silver posts, but I couldn't really get the other ones to look right because they weren't shiny. They were, I don't know, I could make them grey, the colourable ones, but they didn't look right. These look more realistic, so I've gone with these and they're fine. They do the job. So you've got your disabled parking up at this end. I think I've spaced it out okay. Then you've got some coach parking here. And then I thought, instead of more coaches on this side, I thought motorbikes deserved their own spot. This took me a little while, because of course all of these are individual pieces. So there's lots of copying and pasting and moving and sliding and, you know, to fill all of this up around the writing. But I think it looks really nice actually. And again, you do see this, certainly in England, we do have dedicated motorbike parking. Excuse me. So I think that is a thing, it would be there. Put this fencing around the outside, because I've had a bit of an idea of what I'm going to do behind here. I won't spoil that for you just yet, but I did want fencing here, because obviously you don't want people being able to walk into the zoo. I think I'll probably have to raise it up. I think it needs to be a bit taller than it is. I haven't done at the front here, but this will be similar to what I've done over here, I think, with the cypress trees. I'll do rock formations under the signs, I think, and then continue the stone wall, I think, down this front area here. So that's what I'm going to do next, I think. I think probably just one more update for this video, and then we'll be done for now. So I'll be right back, and I'll see how I get on. Okay, I've been on a bit of a building binge on this last section. Now I've done something just behind the camera here, so I don't want to show it off to you just yet. I will show you that in a moment. But just so you can see what I've done here, obviously I've just got some trees in these gaps. Continued this stone fence along here. Just realised that I put bark chipping down here, and it wouldn't be bark chipping because it needs to be wheelchair friendly, so I will change that. Probably just continue this tarmac through this area, I think. So around the front here, again the wall goes all the way down. I've done the rock under the signs and just put a few shrubs in here. So the flowers really are for the benefit of people inside the car park here, and from the outside you can see some of the flowers, but you also get the benefit of some of these shrubs just poking up above the wall. Put a sign in, coaches, motorbikes disabled, just so that people driving by know exactly who's meant to be parking in this car park. Some of these cypress trees on this side, wasn't really room for any on this side. It didn't look right. I did put a couple down, but they didn't look right around this sign. It was all too squashed, so I just left them on this side. Continued the lights around the edge here inside. I did raise this barrier up as well. I thought it needed to be sort of a 6-foot fence, and I did change these trees here, and I went for these ones. Are these the maples? Yeah, Japanese maples. I thought they worked really well with what I put at the bottom. I said before I thought they looked very autumnal, and these maples do look very autumnal. And they do grow very well in England as well. So yeah, I thought they looked nice, something a bit different. Because again, obviously these wouldn't be trees that were here long term. These would be things that were planted when this car park was built. So I thought something a bit smaller, something that looked established at least. But yes, they'd go for something a bit more ornamental than just a boring old ash tree or elm tree or something. So that's what I've gone with. And then my crowning achievement, which I'm really happy with this, is the entrance that I've built behind me. I'm still not showing you yet. I'm building up the tension. What I wanted between this car park and the gift shop building over on the other side, I wanted some sort of wooden structure, sort of a modern art wooden entrance structure with ticket machines underneath. And so I just randomly started building, and I will show you now what I've come up with. Here we go. So you come through, and this is what greets you. It's a bit crazy, but I kind of like it. In fact, I really like it. I think it's a very modern thing, but that's what I'm going for in this zoo. You know, like I said before, I think this is a zoo that's recently had a large influx of investment, so it's got a lot of money to spend, and they would have paid for nice professional architects and designers to come in and really revamp things, particularly like an entrance area. So this is what I came up with. Yeah, it's a bit of an eye, What's it called? Like a magic eye thing. You know, where it almost looks like it's sort of jumping out at you at the right angles. It's yeah, it's weird, isn't it? I like it. And then underneath here, you've got these ticket scan machines that I've put in. And my thinking here is that maybe all the tickets, it's a very modern system where you buy your ticket before you come to the zoo, and you have it either print it out or maybe on your phone, and then the zoo would have staff members here just sort of supervising, and you come along, you scan your ticket on here and it says, yep, you've paid, you can enter the zoo, and you walk through, and the staff members around here would just be making sure that everyone has actually paid. That's my thinking, because I didn't want to put a big booth in here. I don't want to block the view through here, and I don't want to faff around with pathways trying to actually put in like an information building or anything like that. I didn't want that. I wanted it to be nice and open, continue the wood theme, and the modern theme as well. I wanted something very modern under here because this is a very modern looking fancy roof. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. Let me know what you think, but yeah, I like it. It's kind of like a sculpture, I suppose, more than a roof. And I have checked this very low one here. I have checked. People do walk safely underneath it without hitting their heads. I was a bit concerned actually, but it's okay. So no need to worry about that. So let me show you what it looks like at night now, because I have done a bit of work with my lighting. So you can see I've lit up these signs with these spotlights. You have to put them so far away because they're so bright and they really light up the trees, which you can't really avoid, but I've had to put them far enough away that they put enough light on the sign that you can read it, but it doesn't look blinding like these trees do. So there's one there, and then the other one is hidden by the side of this building over here. Obviously the building itself, I think I probably showed you that before. I went with the red lights under here, as you can see on the walls here. I just wanted it to be a different colour basically. I wanted this entrance plaza bit to stand out. And then again on these signs, just light them up with the spotlights hidden away between the walls here. And in fact I don't even know where the one, oh yes, I've had to put one over that side there, pointing at that sign there, because if you put it anywhere this end it's just too bright and it's unreadable. And then you've got one on that side and one down there for this side. And obviously the street lamps do what the street lamps do. And yeah, I think certainly looking from the air, I think that looks really nice now. Actually, I'm very pleased with my first couple of building sessions. I think they've gone really well. I'm happy with the detail that I'm getting into it, and I'm really happy with the building work that I'm doing. Certainly this building turned out great. I like this building, even though it's very simple, the warehouse, but it's exactly what a warehouse would look like. And again, this one is kind of in the middle. It's simple, but it's got some good detailing on it that I like. Oh yes, I redid the window. Sorry, I forgot to show you this before. So I discussed this window having a hole. So there we go. So I've had to use the sheets of glass and then just some simple wooden frames, and then you have this wide slot here, which is open. So things can be passed through, and obviously he can talk, or he or she can talk to whoever's outside. Now the one thing I did realise is that I put this building really on the wrong side, because this is England and we drive on the left. And so as you came in here, you would be on this side of the road. However, we drive with, we sit on the right hand side of the car. So my thinking is that you would only ever have one car in here at a time, and so they would be able to just come up on the right hand side here and talk to whoever's in there. So that's my reasoning behind that. And in fact, I think if you look at the width of the cars, actually the car isn't very wide, is it? No, that theory doesn't work. Yeah, you see, it is kind of 2 lanes wide. But I guess if you were just it's not going to be a particularly busy area, so let's go with that. And so you could easily just come in here and you can just pull up here, although actually obviously this is a left-hand drive car. Oh, okay. Fine, I guess it's an American company. I actually don't know where this game is made, but I'm guessing America if it's got a left-hand drive car in it. Anyway, never mind. It's a detail that I don't need to worry about. And yet I do worry. I worry about these things. Never mind. We will live, won't we? So there we go. So I think what I'm going to do next is my idea for this area behind the car park here, which is going to be some kind of a zoo administration building. So an office building, essentially. Nothing tall, nothing, not a multi-story thing, just maybe 1 or 2 stories here, maybe coming around the side here, sort of encompassing this car park. But I'm not entirely sure of the design of it yet, but that's my thinking of what I may move on to next. And don't worry, there will be animals, of course, but I just want to get the structure at the front here done first before I start thinking about my first animal exhibit. I already know what I'm going to do as my first animal, and it's going to be in the middle here, and in fact it's going to be 3 similar animals all in one large area. 3 different enclosures, 3 different animals, but with a similar theme, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But my next project is going to be this building around here, but that will be for my next video. So let's leave it there. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please let me know in the comments what you think, whether you like what I've done, whether you think I'm talking about the right things, or if I'm just talking a load of rubbish. It's what I usually do. It's fine. You can be honest. This is a safe space. Be honest with me. It's fine. So thank you, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. So bye for now.